Hello, welcome to the Knit Away the Anxiety podcast. My name is Marissa. I'll be your very nervous little host. This is episode 1. Date of recording is January 4th, 2025. So my whole goal with this is to kind of document my growth throughout the year, or hopefully growth throughout the year, and see how far I've come in when the year is over. Hopefully first half of every video will be about in regards to what I'm knitting, what I'm wearing, things like that, the knitting stuff for those of you who are here for the knitting. And then second half will be more so health, weight loss journey updates, things, and anxiety updates, and kind of where I'm standing with that. And I'll try new chapters and timestamps for things that might be a bit more triggering for people. So hopefully I don't say anything too triggering. If I do, I'm really sorry. Please let me know in the comments so I can try and avoid it in the future. Okay, but knitting stuff. Okay, start with what I'm wearing. This is the Stormy Sky shawl by Senya Nadine, maybe? Nadine, I don't know. I'll put a picture up here, right there, picture over here in this general area. This pattern is originally meant to be done in fingering weight, and I did not do that. I used a Karen Skinny Cake in Melon Smoothie for mine, and I actually thought I lost this. For the longest time, I actually thought I had lost it, and I was really so sad about having lost it because I enjoyed making it so much that I queued it with 2 other skinny cakes I have in my stash. That is the Stormy Sky shawl. I guess on to FOs. I don't have any finished objects for 2025 quite yet. It is obviously only the 4th, but I did finish a lot of things for Christmas, so I figured that I would kind of go over my Christmas gifts, and I obviously don't have any of them with me because they're gifts and I gave them for Christmas. I guess we'll start with the first one. I actually knit 3 of them. Was a muscle burra by Soul to Tea. I did one for my brother, one for my father-in-law, my husband's stepfather, and then one for my stepmom. And then the really big one that I worked on for I think over a year was the Jelly Roll blanket by Kay Jones that I did for my now sister-in-law. When I started it, she was my sister-in-law to be. And then for my mother-in-law, I did the Moss Stitch in a Rectangle by Sarah Zimmerman. I did double up the cast-on length so that the overall blanket when it was done would be a longer rectangle than the pattern originally called for. For my mom, I did the Garter Stitch Corner to Corner blanket by Bernat Design Studio, and then I did another thing for my brother because he's spoiled. Actually, no, the muscle burrow that I did for him was actually a really late birthday gift, and he didn't know, so I just gave him two made things. But the second thing I did for him was Glenn the Grizzly Bear by Little Green Bear. So fun little thing. My brother's name is Desmond, and if you were a millennial or older Gen Z, you may be familiar with Desmond the Moon Bear. And so he has made that his little moniker. So I made Desmond the Moon Bear, which is what he asked for. So now he has a little moon bear to go in his office, and he's super happy with it, as you can see by this very excited picture. The next one I did was for my dad. I finished it the day before Christmas Eve on the 20th. I finished it the 23rd. And I was so worried I was not going to get that one done. So the pattern was I did a modification on the Brick Block blanket by, and I'm going to butcher this name so freaking terribly, so I'm so sorry, by Tidza Guildzu? I'm not sure. Link is in the description. I'm not sure. Although, yeah, if I didn't mention that, which I definitely didn't, all the links for everything will be down in the description. So I did the Brick Block blanket with some modification. So I did one for him 8 or so years ago, but this was the one he asked for this year. He wanted it in the colors that would reflect his favorite college football team, so he was super happy with that. I know in the photo he doesn't look super happy. That's because he was trying really hard not to cry, because that stitch kind of sequence is so special to him because it was made like he's most familiar with it from his grandmother. So anytime he gets something like that, it makes him tear up a bit. And you know, big strong man don't want to cry. And then the very last thing, which I actually finished I think the day after Christmas, and that's okay because it's for my husband, was Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop by Crazy Sock Lady Designs. That is all my FOs. Okay, so I guess next for whips, the whips that I'm bringing in from 2024. So the first one is it's based on the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart. In this case, I added on a 3-stitch I-cord to both ends, and I know I'm definitely not doing the pattern the way Helen wrote it by any means, but I'm doing that out of a whole bunch of yarns that I have in my stash from Sorella. This is what my Sorella blanket currently looks like. I can't remember whose project it was. I saw someone actually did their Habitation Throw holding their minis and then a single and then some other fingering weight held doubled, and I loved that because I would probably kill myself. Well, not kill myself, that's extreme. I would bang my head against a wall really, really hard if I was doing this just out of fingering, just doing it with one strand. I would lose my marbles. So what I've done is I've taken a whole bunch of Sorella minis that I had, so like from different collections or from Oopsies or something like that, and combined them with different Oopsie skeins I had. I'm currently on the 3rd Oopsie skein. Yeah, I'm on the 3rd Oopsie, 3rd of I think 7. Yeah, because I like really big blankets, so I'm trying to make this thing like bigger than the throw, so it's going to be massive, and it's already super squishy and amazeballs, and I love it. It's kind of become like a little pet project between myself and my husband. I have all the minis, so this is currently the 3rd color I'm working with. I think it's an Oopsie of Pirates of the Caribbean, I think. So what I have my husband do is I have this bag that I got at a local yarn shop out on the coast of Oregon. I have a Ziploc of what I call darker minis that I've wound into little balls, and then I have the lighter minis inside the bag. And so what I do when I'm getting near the end of one of the little mini balls is I actually have my husband pick one from each bag, so that because I'm doing a light mini, dark mini, alternated them. So I have him pick. So the entire color sequence he's determining, because then it takes the control away from me and kind of helps me to exercise that release of control, and that I don't have to control everything. Because if I did, it would be a lot of it would stress me out because I can't pick color to save my life. I'm really, really bad at it. Like really bad at it. I think it's even more fun because my husband is like red and green colorblind. So all of the things, so every time he picks something, I'm just like, interesting choice. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, so that's a fun little collaborative thing we're doing on it. So that's the first one. That's my first whip. Okay, but the next thing I've got is another Musselburgh, and I'm doing this out of Puppy Love is the color by the Blue Brick on their Killarney sock base. So it's the 500 yards per skein, I think. That's all I got so far. It's just this itty bitty top of the hat. I am having to do it helical because it was starting to pool and I can't stand that. So I'm doing it helically. I do not start my Musselburghs with the pinhole cast on like you're supposed to. I do, is it Judy's Magic cast on, I think? Or Jenny's? I don't know. I can't, whatever that special cast on that most people use for toe up socks, I do that just because I don't like the whole period that can form from doing the pinhole. Next one I've got is, I actually enjoyed making my dad's brick block blanket so much that I wanted to do one for me with not scraps but like just stash yarn. So I ended up starting one using some of the loops and threads. Impeccable yarn that I have in my stash. I have quite a bit of it because that was my go-to acrylic for the longest time. So this is what it looks like currently. I've barely started it. I'm kind of doing this, like alternating the teals, kind of trying to fade the colors with alternating it with black and white because I have a lot of black and white left over from doing my dad's blanket, so I'm trying to use that up. The colors I'm using are light, black, teal, blue moon, and aqua. And all of those are from my stash. I hopefully will not have to buy a single skein to complete this. Okay, so that's my brick block. And then the other one is this one. This is my Italian autumn cowl by an Italian knitter. And I am doing this out of Arcane Fiberworks 8020 DK in teal, adventure awaits, and gray. I am doing it kind of fade like I'm like the colors fade into each other really well anyway. So I actually split the adventure awaits, which is the kind of variegated one. I split that what remains in half. So I'm going to put it at both ends before joining everything together. My cowl will be smaller than the pattern intends just because I'm working with half skeins, not full skeins. Okay, that's it for whips. Okay, so my new cast-ons, as in starting this year, or things I plan to do, starting with what I started on the 1st of the year, is my Goldfish Memory by Casapinka. I haven't done much on it. I barely gotten started on it. That's what it looks like. I'm doing it in this like gold and purple. Color number 3 is like a variegated of the two. So it's gonna be purple, gold, and then the little bit of the mix. And I'm doing that because I'm gonna go visit my friend Nicole at some point this year, and her favorite color is gold, mine's purple. So I'm making a shawl that kind of commemorates the two of us finally meeting in person. Hi, Nicole. And then today's cast on I actually can't show you because it's part of an MCal. But I cast on the Keep It Secret, Keep It Safe by Nicole Larkin York, or aka Common Thread Fibers. I think Common Thread Fiber. I can't remember what exactly her handle is. I'm really excited for that. I'm already almost finished with clue number 1 because I got onto the MCal Discord party today and made most of it in the first almost 3 hours. So, but I can't tell you what yarn I'm using. I'm using the Knit Pick Superwash Wool of the Andes in Mineral Heather. It's like a really nice purpley kind of color. I think the last one that I cast on specifically for my movie date tonight is some new socks. I only have the cuffs right now. Ooh, that color is bonkers. So that's the other side of it. And this yarn is the Sock Obsessions Resilient Smooth Sock in the color Hades. And I've had that yarn in my stash forever. And I'm doing that out of the same vanilla socks on Magic Loop by Crazy Sock Lady that I did for my husband's. Yeah, so that's that. This is very much going to be the year of like accessories for me. Next topic, content warning for this big fat content warning. I know weight loss stuff can be kind of tumultuous for people, so if that's not your jam, totally fine. So as of January 1st, I have lost 30 pounds. My starting weight in June, I think June 3rd or something like that, was 291 pounds. My goal is around 190, 180, essentially kind of under 200, just because I kind of got to a point of realizing like, oh, I'm almost 300 pounds and life really sucks. Like things physically really suck. So I really got a major kick in my ass. So I think around my birthday last April, something kind of started to click, and then I started getting more and more stuff on Instagram, and I really started to see, at least from what I was getting fed with my algorithm, a major change in the fitness and diet world. It was way less, at least what I was saying, was more about finding things that work for you and finding ways to make the foods you love still work. I found the what does my brother call it? The if it fits your macros thing was becoming way more of a thing versus just like no carbs, just only eat protein and vegetables, like that really heavy restriction stuff, which has deterred me forever. And it was part of why I struggled in the past, because the heavy restriction just does not work for me and most people. It's not sustainable. That's what I was looking for. Like everything I was seeing was way more focused on things that are sustainable that you can continue to do after you've hit your goal, so that it becomes, you know, more of like you're like doable, and you know, sustainable. That's the word I kept saying. Sustainable. I'm gonna try really hard not to cry in this section. I didn't think about that part. Whoops. I don't really have a lose all this weight by this date. I don't have a goal date for getting to 190, 180. I don't have a date for that. I want to go at a reasonable pace. I don't want to lose a whole bunch all at once, because I know, again, it's not sustainable, and I know it's not healthy for my body. Like I don't want, like, I'm trying to avoid excessive amounts of loose skin. The only way to do that, at least for what I've found, is that if I go nice and slow, lose half a pound, 1.5 pounds per week if I can, continue to build muscle and all those things, so that as the fat comes off, the muscle takes up that space and prevents a whole lot of excessive loose skin that I then have to get surgically removed. I already know I'm going to have to do that. Like my arms and my stomach especially, I'm definitely going to have to at some point, especially if I want to avoid the eventual body dysmorphia that I've heard is definitely a thing. And I'm trying to do everything in my very controlling, anxious nature. I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to avoid having those issues, to avoid having those kind of roadblocks, so that I can continue to keep going. And I'm also very, very sorry for not looking at the camera very well. I'm so awkward, and this makes me really uncomfortable. So I keep looking at the monitor that I have, and or looking down at my notes. I'm very sorry. So yeah, so that's my goal. I want to go slow and build those sustainable habits so I can continue to live like this and be happy with everything for the rest of my life. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to be a statistic of going on some diet or weight loss program or whatever and gaining it all back in a couple years. I don't want that. I've been large my entire life, and whilst it has not, to my knowledge, hindered me in a way, it definitely has hindered my mental a bit, hindered me mentally, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. I know that if my body is healthier, my mind will be healthier. I go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I changed what time I go, because I know new year, new me fuckers are going to be in the gym taking up all the equipment, and my gym anxiety can get so bad that I will intentionally avoid exercise, like certain machines, if there are too many people around it. Like it's almost, it can sometimes be debilitating. I call my anxiety freeze. Like it can be so bad that I just want to walk out, and I want to completely avoid that. So I have changed from going at 7 o'clock. I'm now going at between 8 and 8:30. So when I get home from work, I eat dinner, and then like an hour and a half later, I go to the gym, work out for an hour and 20 minutes, depending on how long it takes me to do my whole routine. And then I go home, shower, go to bed. So that is essentially going to be my routine Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, every week. Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday are rest days. Because if I try and do it every day or something like that, it's gonna be too much. And I know that I reserve the right to not go some days, and some days, like last night, it's okay if I don't have the physical and emotional capacity to do a whole routine. Like last night, I was full on stuck in a anxiety freeze. I didn't know what to do. I was so goddamn lost. And what should I do next? I have things I need to do here at home, but I also want and need to go to the gym. Part of me didn't want to go to the gym, but I knew I needed to for myself. I knew I needed to. And thank heavens for my husband, because he came and helped me and reminded me that it's okay to do half the effort. As long as you go in some capacity, that's what matters. So that's what I did. I did a half routine. I did half my cardio. I did half of the routine that my brother built for me, and it was really good. I'm really glad that I did. I'm really glad that I stuck with it and that I did go, even if it was only half a routine. I am hurting like hell today, but it was really, really nice to continue to do what I needed to do. And I only did a couple of machines. Like, I didn't do any of the free weight stuff. I did solely machines and Smith machine. And like right now I'm in that, like, the phase of the plan that my brother's built. Side note, my brother has been doing workout stuff forever, so he's kind of become my trainer, and I know I'm very, very privileged to have that resource at no cost to me. And Desmond, even though I know you're not actually going to be watching, but like, thank you. You are the best brother in the whole world. Thank you so much for being a sounding board and for training me. And because, like, what he does is, like, every couple of months when I say, okay, I think I'm ready to change something, he actually comes with me to my gym as my guest and walks me through a whole new program and pushes me like fucking crazy. Like, just being beside him on the treadmill makes me want to run, because he is a, like, minute walk 31. He is an interval treadmill guy, and it just makes me want it. Just being beside him makes me want to go. Just, I don't know what it is. It must be the sibling competitiveness. I don't freaking know, but it makes me going with him every couple of months really reminds me, like, no, you are actually getting stronger. Like, the last time he went with me was months ago, because I took like 3 or 4 months off from going to the gym and everything, because I got COVID and it took everything out of me. I didn't have anything else in me, and then I needed that extra time every week to do Christmas presents, which is normal. I normally have to dedicate the last like 3 or 4 months of the year to just Christmas presents and nothing else. But when I went with my brother to do my new evaluation, he got me on the Smith machine and was like, okay, we're going to do a bunch of squats and we're going to see how fucking heavy you can go. And I think the highest I got up to was like 115 pounds, where I had previously been doing like 60 on top of my own body weight, which was insanity. Like, he took a video of it, and and the whole time he's like, great form, like, nice, keep going, one more. And I cried after that set. I cried because I'm gonna cry now. I've spent so long sorry. Oh my god. I have spent so many years in a body that could not do what I wanted it to do. And now being in a place where it can do things I never thought it could is amazing. I played sports as a kid. Like, I have some idea of the strength of my body, and not having that for the last 15 or so years has been really hard on my mental health, and feeling that strength come back and reclaiming my mobility has been life-changing. And I did it myself. I did it for myself. I'm a very self-sacrificing person. I give everything I am to everyone else, and that's really not great in a lot of ways. I neglect myself a lot, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, you can ask my therapist I haven't seen for 4 years. I spent my entire childhood doing everything I possibly could to be the ideal child for my parents, and so much so that I didn't grow into who I wanted to be. I didn't know who I was, and I'm gonna be fucking 30 in 4 months, and I was sick of it. I got sick of giving so much to everyone else that there was nothing left for myself, and nothing left for my partner, who has done nothing but be supportive of our entire relationship. Like, I give so much at my day job that I have nothing left for myself or my husband when I get home. And I mean nothing. I spend the entire day worrying about everyone else and making sure everyone else doesn't know the fucking struggles that I went through when I started that fucking job. Because I spent the last 3 goddamn years figuring out all of the tribal knowledge shit that wasn't written down anywhere and writing it down and teaching it to people instead of making them bang their head against the wall for a year and a half until they understood what the fuck was going on. So that's the kind of shit that I do. I take my learning pains and I do whatever I possibly can to make it so others don't suffer. And that's, to some, is a great quality. It's a great nurturing, protective quality. I know it is. But when you do it for so long, for everyone else but yourself, there's nothing left. And that's not an option anymore for me. It's really not. So that was where the whole weight loss thing started. I got sick of losing my mobility. The most basic basic hand movements were starting to get hard. And that was terrifying. It was really, really terrifying. I'm very in tune with my body and what's going on with my body, and losing basic mobility like that at not even 30 was terrifying. So that was straw number 1. And then straw number 2 was nearing 300 pounds. That was terrifying. Seeing that scale say 291 was fucking terrifying. You know what? No, it wasn't even the 291. What it was I went to the doctor and they said it was like 280 something. And I hadn't weighed myself in months. And it went from the 250 I'd been hovering at for a couple years up to 283. Really, really bothered me a lot. And then it kind of got the wheels turning again, because this isn't the first time I've tried to do this. It's the first time I've been successful, though. And I'm clinging to that. I'm clinging to the success. Because 30 fucking pounds in 4 months that I was actively really trying, and then 3.5, 4 months of maintaining it by itself with no additional loss or gain is a phenomenal. So yeah, I'm back on my schedule. That's where that tangent came from. Holy crap. I'm sorry. That was so bad. Okay, but anyway, off of that little tangent, my next steps are I want to try and get with a nutritionist just to make sure I'm really getting everything that I need. I know there are gaps in the kind of diet plan thing I've been doing myself on my own. I am prioritizing protein and keeping myself in a calorie deficit for sure, but I definitely, I have an iron deficiency and I have to take an iron supplement, and then that causes digestive issues that I need fiber for, and I want to make sure I'm getting as much fiber as possible, and I really struggle with that. So I want to see about getting a nutritionist via Nourish, and my insurance does cover it. So I'm thinking of doing that, speaking to someone and seeing where I can make improvements and where I can add some variety without a bunch of extra work. Because that's one of the things I definitely struggle with in regards to food stuff, is if it's super, super complicated or requires a lot of ingredients or a lot of time, I don't want to do it. It's really funny. A lot of people, when they do this kind of thing, get protein ick. I have not gotten that yet, and I think that's because my go-to meal is literally lightly breaded chicken chunks and peas. I get so much, that is the most childish freaking meal possible, but it's so tasty. And when I add a really low sugar dipping sauce, I'm so happy. And then I add in a special protein bar afterwards for dessert, and I'm on cloud 9. That for me is the best combo. So little mini segment in here is my current favorite or helpful foods for the weight loss. The really big one is Built bars, Built Bar protein bars. Specifically their puff line. It's literally a marshmallow protein bar. It's quite literally marshmallow, and they're fantastic. I love Built Puff bars. They're 100% worth the money, in my opinion. Like, I'm not a big candy person, but I do get sweets cravings, like, really, really bad. And having Built Bars in the house that are essentially like fucking candy is amazing. Like, their peanut butter puff, is like, to me at least, eating, or like a really tasty alternative to a Reese's peanut butter cup. The coconut puff bar is like eating a Mounds bar. It's dark chocolate, coconut flavored, so tasty. And they have ones like brownie batter, and literally it's like eating a brownie. Like, when I want something sweet, I run to our stash of puff bars, because those, like, the macros are fantastic. Like, whenever I'm aiming for macros, I always do the add a 0 to the number of to grams of protein, and if that is greater than the number of calories, it's high protein and worth it. Like, I don't do the, oh, it's got 16 grams of protein, but it's 300 calories. Like, no, that's not high enough protein for me. Like, my goal currently, pre-nutritionist, is 150 grams of protein a day. Like, I need things to actually be high protein in order for me to not only hit my calorie deficit, but then hit my protein goals. So if a protein bar is like 200 fucking calories, but then it's only like 16 grams of protein, that's not enough. If it's going to be 200 calories, it needs to be 20 grams of protein minimum for me to even consider it, because of how highly I prioritize my protein. And the Built Puff Bars are one of those things. Like, they're literally 140 calories, 17 grams of protein. Like, add a 0 to the 17, 170, over 140. Fabulous. Perfection. And most of their bars are like that. So that's part of why I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go with the freaking Puff Bar, because it's delicious. And it's going to help me meet my goals. Absolutely. My other favorites are Quest protein bars. Quest protein bars are typically 190 to 100 calories, and they're about 20 to 21 grams of protein, which, per my thing, is perfect. I'm really, really picky about protein bars. I should have said that. I'm insanely picky. Like, if it tastes like a chalky nastiness, no, just no, not doing it. And Quest so far has been the bar, aside from the Built Puff Bars, that I have found to be the tastiest. I really, really enjoy their apple pie flavor, and then chocolate brownie, oatmeal chocolate chip. What else? There's a couple other flavors of the Quest bars that I really enjoy, that are almost all of them minimum 20 grams of protein. And then also there's a lot of fiber in them. So as someone who needs the fiber because of the iron deficiency, and supplement BS, those are great. I love those. Not so sure about other Quest products. Like, I have mixed feelings about Quest chips. I haven't tried a Quest protein shake or anything like that, but I really like the bars. I found the bars to be the easiest thing for me to deal with. The other favorite or helpful thing that I've been doing, and I think I saw this by Allison of Finally Allison on Instagram. I saw her do this, where she takes Greek yogurt and puts like water flavoring syrups or whatever, like kind of like think like the syrups that you would put in a coffee. She adds that to Greek yogurt. And I saw that, and it was like a massive light bulb, because that is the easiest way for me to not only reduce how much trash I'm making, because when I started doing like the light and fit Greek yogurts, and that's the whole, like, I don't like how much like trash that was creating by doing those individual cups. And also 170 gram serving was not enough. I'm a big girl. Like, I like a big serving. And yeah, the macros were okay, but not like the best. But I found that the Greek yogurt that you can get at Costco, and then if you just get a sugar-free syrup from wherever, I use Ceruvia that I get on Amazon. It's fantastic. Like, I can, like, on days where I'm lacking in my protein, I will literally make a 400 gram yogurt and throw however much syrup I need in it for it to taste delicious. And they're always delicious. Right now I have peach, blackberry, caramel. I just got peanut butter and Swiss chocolate last night. And the peanut butter and Swiss chocolate, when I put them together, literally tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Like, it doesn't, and that's, at least that specific syrup line does not have that weird, like, artificial taste to it, at least not for me. Okay, that's that's all the weight stuff, the weight loss health stuff, I think. I guess the last little bit is anxiety stuff, or the anxiety check-in, I guess I can call it. Right now, the anxiety level is fairly low, just overall in general. Last night it was kind of meh, because the anxiety freeze, but once I had the outside help of my husband telling me, essentially, like taking away the spiral that I was in and telling me do things in this order and then go eat was number one on that list of things to do. That really helped a lot and got me unstuck, which was awesome. Thank you. Jess, thank you. Like, no massive like panic anxiety attack triggers, thank goodness. I think that's part of the other reason why I want to do this, is that I noticed in the past year, year and a half, I've actually started to get like full-blown anxiety and panic attacks, and I don't think ever dealt with that in my entire life. And I don't know if it's stress or if the anxiety and everything has gotten so hard, like so high, that my body's like, okay, we're not doing this anymore, which is very possible. Work has been very stressful for the past year or so. Life has been very stressful, and I've just been extra anxious with a lot of stuff in recent months. So I'm hoping by doing this and then also going back to the gym, it'll help to keep the anxiety down and help me to kind of process things better, because I do find that when I do go work out and get all of that out of my body, it helps to kind of, for lack of a better term, release some of the trauma that I'm holding in my body. Like, when I first started this whole workout journey, I actually was just doing yoga. I found really fast that I actually can't do it. Not only because my body was so weak that I couldn't hold the poses, but also the frustration of the yoga not meeting my expectations. It would send me into a little bit of a panic attack, but also moving my body so much versus none at all, because my life and job is very sedentary if I don't work out. And I've just been through so much shit in the last 20 years that it like hasn't come out, and it's just been stored in my body. But I found with doing yoga, it was releasing all that from my body, and it was like almost every single time I would do yoga, I would go into a crying fit because there was just so much in my body that just needed to be let out. So I found the alternative, so that I wasn't crying all the fucking time, was to physically go to the gym and do the cardio and then do the weight stuff. And I think that helps a lot. It helps me clear my mind, because my mind, like, I just get so focused on engaging the right muscle groups. Counting just zones out. Just everything becomes nothing, and it's just count. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. It just shuts everything off in a way that I did not expect, and it feels really good. Like, I remember when I first tried to go to the gym after recovering from COVID, I was like, okay, I went into the gym being like, okay, I'm gonna go slow, I'm gonna take it easy, because, I got hella fucking sick. When I went to the gym after recovering enough, I thought I could go. I got on that treadmill, and I could physically feel my body and my mind telling me, whilst walking, stop walking and fucking run. Fucking run. I had never felt that in my body before. So I did. I ran. And I think part of that was because prior to getting COVID, in my regimen that I created, or routine, whatever you want to call it, I had started developing this system of walk on leg days, run on upper body days. And I got to the point where I was on off running and finishing a mile in, I think, 17 and a half minutes. In 3.5, 4 months, I went from walking a mile in 23 minutes to running it, or on off running it in 17, 18 minutes in a matter of like 3.5 months. That's major fucking progress as someone who has not done any workouts in years. So being in the gym really helps with my mind and realigns me with my body and what it needs. And I've started to learn that if I don't go and things start to hurt again, that's when I need to go. That's what my brother said. That's what my brother says. He told me once that when his back starts to hurt, that's when he knows he needs to go back to the gym because things are getting weaker and I need to get back to it. One more anxiety thing I did, I purged the fuck out of my house. Like a lot. This entire little office was like not usable aside from my desk. When we first moved into this house, I just had every craft supply I owned put in this room, and I haven't used 75 to 80% of those craft supplies in the 4 years since we moved here. So I decided when we went on vacation that we were going to purge the house. We were going to purge and get rid of things that we do not touch, that like we were going to donate or throw away things that have no place in this house anymore. And I started with my office and I purged half this room. Granted, I haven't touched the yarn yet. The yarn wall remains untouched because I want to record that. I want to record going through the stash and purging the stash. And then when I reorganized my office again in preparation for, I have a chair on order that will, a little chaise lounge chair that I will be nestled in for future videos. But I needed to rearrange the entire office in order to make space for said chair and to put some things away so that I had the space for the chair. And there's a bunch of stuff that needed to be stored elsewhere or gotten rid of, and I got rid of so much stuff. Like this little room went from being a freaking dumping ground to nearly my perfect little haven. I'll do an studio office tour at some point. The last step is to go through the yarn and to make sure that my Ravelry queue or Ravelry stash actually reflects what I have on my wall. So yeah, that is the last step. And I will say this, doing that big purge helped my brain so much. I feel like a whole new person after purging all that stuff. Like, I purged my office, we purged my husband's office, we purged our entire bedroom and the closet, we purged the entire upstairs. We've gained back half of our garage just by doing all this purging. My brain just feels so much better having space again to actually do things. And it's kind of nuts how much better my brain feels. But yeah, so that's the anxiety brain update. But yeah. Welcome to Knit Away the Anxiety. That's what we're going to do. As my dear friend Nicole says, when the anxiety demon is driving, we get out the yarn, we get out the needles, and we tell it to go the fuck away. And that's what I'm going to do. That is what this is for. This whole thing is to remind myself that I am stronger than I think I am, and that it is okay for me to take up space on the internet. It is okay for me to be loud. I think that's it. And that's all I've got right now. Oh, I'm gonna try and do this. I'm gonna try and aim for every other week. Maybe. I figure every other week is enough time for project progress and then to really get an idea of any anxiety stuff that's coming up. Same with any like weight loss stuff. I figured that's you can get some decent progress in 2 weeks. So I think I'm gonna end it there. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button. If you want to watch more, get notified when I upload, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell, I guess. Any designs will be linked, any patterns will be linked below. Any one I've mentioned from social media will also be linked below if you want to go check them out. I will not be updating my Instagram or doing stuff on Instagram just yet. I want to really enjoy this and just do it for myself first before I kind of push it to the social media stuffs. So I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.